Welcome to the Bestie Perspective,
a podcast where healing gets real,
where we explore the mind-body-spirit connection,
and where becoming your best self isn't perfect, it's personal. So take a deep breath.
You're safe here with the Bestie Perspective. Hey besties, and welcome back to the Bestie Perspective. We are so excited because we have our first guest of season 2 today, April Marie.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Yay!
She also happens to be my Pilates instructor and someone who has really had a meaningful impact on my life. Through her classes, I've personally experienced what it feels like to reconnect with my body in a deeper way, really understanding how powerful the mind-body connection is, and also finding ways to move and support my body while navigating an injury. And I know she brings that same energy into everything that she shares, not just in movement, but in how we support our bodies as a whole. On her socials, she talks a lot about supporting your body from the inside out, really learning how to trust yourself again, and just approaching wellness in a way that actually feels sustainable and realistic. So today, we're really going to focus on hormones, gut health, and some of those foundational habits that can truly make a difference, but in a way that also feels practical and approachable. So April, I'd love to hand it over to you. Would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners and maybe just describe yourself in this current season of life?
Yes. So, my name is April. I am a functional health coach. I'm a Pilates instructor. I'm a breathwork facilitator. So you think all things wellness, here I am. I tend to go the simple route with everything. I recently turned 50. So that was a huge change, not only because I turned that number, but because I was also navigating perimenopause, which hit me hard, and I'm still sort of navigating that. Also, empty nesting. Both my boys are off to college, and I honestly went through, when they say a midlife crisis, you almost feel like, am I going through a midlife crisis? Because it was just it's just a different way of living and thinking, and am I enough? Am I doing enough? Like, just, and not only like, in your wellness journey, your health journey, everything was changing all at once. And I started to really hear a lot of noise, and we'll get into this, but which really changed my perspective on how I am navigating my wellness journey. And I say wellness because I don't think it just consists of just what you eat or just movement. It consists of a lot of different things. It consists of a lot of things with, of course, what you eat, movement, calming the nervous system, which that is the one thing that I've realized has really helped. Gut health, absolutely. But your hormones are shifting all the time, and not everybody is the same. We're all so different.
Yeah.
So how something works for me may not work for you. So I had to find that out, and you like really use my body as like a laboratory, almost like an experiment for a long time, So
Your own lab rat.
I was like my own lab rat. It was not, and I'm still using myself as a laboratory. Like, okay, let me see if this is going to work. And because the doctors will know, they know something, but they don't know you like you. And that's where I've really started driving into people. Like, you've got to start listening to your body. You have to start knowing you, because nobody knows you better.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And I feel like that's a perfect segue into a question I had, which was, speaking of hormones and all of this, what are some common myths or misconceptions that some women are believing, or that you see some women believing?
So I'm going to say that it's the trends. It's like the things that everybody says you need to be doing. Like, you need to eat this much protein. You need to be doing cardio, strength training. You need to be doing Pilates. It's just all, it's honestly, it's all a lie. And I don't wanna say,
Mm.
like, a lie, but it's not real because it's not for everyone, like, everybody is different. So, we are all bio-individually different. So, again, what works for one will not always work for the other. You gotta be your own lab rat, right? You got that now, Lauren. I'm gonna be sitting here saying that all the time. But, like, the overwhelm and the noise on social media, everywhere, books, everything. How overwhelmed are you when it comes to your health journey?
Oh,
Honestly,
yeah.
I'm
Right.
asking,
Oh
like,
my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's
how
Yes.
exhausting.
it is
I'm tired of
exhausting.
hearing everything that you can't eat or shouldn't do. It's like I should just lock myself in a closet and not
I
go
Ex
outside ever
I mean,
again.
seriously, that's what people are doing, and, I mean, my guess is you guys are younger than me, but I mean, a lot by a lot is what I'm trying to say, but,
Thanks.
I mean,
I'm
come
just
on.
kidding.
But we're all trying to feel our best, look our best, run our best lives, and
Yeah,
when we're being told what to do, it paralyzes us. When we are hearing, like, we need to do all of these different things, it actually, I feel like, puts us more in a shutdown mode, and it paralyzes us. It puts us into a place where we don't wanna do anything, or we don't even know
right.
what to do at all, you know?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
I keep it very general, and here's the other nuance to this. You guys, we all know what to do. We all
Yeah,
know how to be healthy, right?
right.
We know to
Yes.
stay away from processed sugars and processed foods. I mean, you can ask ChatGPT anything you want, and it'll tell you the basics of basics. You
Sure.
don't need everybody telling you everything so that it paralyzes you or overwhelms you. We have to get rid of the noise, and we have to start trusting our bodies and our own minds and what we believe is best for ourselves.
I
Yeah,
love it. If
definitely. And say
anything,
it louder for the
I've
people in the back,
I
Do you
mean,
see
April.
me getting a little
preach.
hyped up here? I'm getting a little, like,
Yes,
come on.
But that's
but
one
it's
thing
so
that
true.
I love teaching people is actually listening to your body, your energy, hearing your own thoughts. So many people walk around not paying attention to what
Mm-mm.
they are feeling or thinking or saying out loud. And then they're confused with what's showing up in their body or in their
Mhm.
life. So I just love that you're on the same page as
Yeah.
us in that regard. But I was also going to say, I'm the only mother in the group, and how you described this perimenopause, empty nesting, this whole transition, it I can relate as far as
Mhm.
becoming a new mom, and
Mhm.
I'm sure that was a transition for you, and even though it's
Absolutely.
very different.
It's still transition because hormones shift. Oh, energy
Exactly.
shifts.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether,
Huge.
like, if you don't have a child, your hormones are still shifting. We're women.
Fair.
You know,
Fair.
when you have children, your hormones shift again, and now you're navigating
Mhm.
a new energy because now you're taking care of
Oh, yeah.
babies, young kids.
Exactly.
And then they get into
Absolutely.
middle then they start talking, and then they're talking back at you.
I mean,
So
let me
now
tell you.
there's
That's a
another
real test of
energy,
your hormones.
you know? And then you're begging for their time again, and then all of a sudden they're
Mm,
gone,
mm.
and then your
Mm.
hormones shift again. And so you're like,
Mhm.
"Why, God?" Like, "What's going on here?" You know?
So
But
interesting.
again, I think that's why if we can keep things simple
Mm,
and not overcomplicate it, I think that's when we're gonna feel our best. And I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not sugarcoating anything. I have struggled in the last probably 2 years, but in the last year, I feel like I've gotten ever since I started shutting out the noise and putting it away and listening more inward, I feel like I'm getting closer. I feel like I'm starting to
mm,
feel like me again. But it took some time, and it also took simplicity. And so
mm.
I really try to keep, like, I have, like, pillars in my mind of what I want my life to look like. So, of course, we got nourishment, right? And
Sure.
how can we keep how we eat simple, right? We all know. We all know. But here's a simple way to think about it. Eat as close to earth as possible.
Love it.
It's
Love
as
I
it.
like
simple.
that.
We don't need to overcomplicate it. Your fruits, your veggies, things that are grown, that are
Yeah.
pulled from the dirt, like, keep it as simple as possible, right?
I love
Yeah.
You
that.
don't have to
Yeah.
overcomplicate it. Now, as we age, in any age, we do need protein, especially if you're trying to build muscle and that your protein, helps obviously build muscle, repair muscle, like, that is longevity, so you do need protein, but 180 grams not gonna work for everybody, you know?
Right.
If someone's eating only 30 grams of protein in a day, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, well, you need to be eating 120." No, maybe for
Mm.
starters, they need to eat 50, you know?
Right.
Right.
Maybe so let's simplify it. What does that look
Yeah.
like? You know?
I love
Yeah.
it.
And then,
What's the next
um
best thing you can do?
exactly, and then when it comes to longevity and hormones, especially hormones, gut health is very important, and I know that we wanted to speak to this, but let's keep it simple. Your gut is its own microbiome. It has its own
Mhm,
ecosystem. It
mhm.
thrives off of fiber. So what is
Yeah.
fiber? Fruits and veggies. So when people
Mhm.
tell you not to eat, and we can go so in depth in this, right? But we're going to keep it basic, right? But when people say, "Oh, you shouldn't don't eat fruits because of sugar." Do you
Oh, I
understand
know.
the fiber you're missing out on, the vitamins you're missing out on, the minerals, like
Yes.
the taste, the deliciousness of fruit, you know? Like,
Yes.
let's read that.
Oh
Now, are
god.
you supposed to eat all fruit? No. You know what I mean? But there's obviously you can have too much of anything. You can have too
Right.
much kale, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But so simplify it. So when it comes to your gut microbiome, your gut health, all you want to do is make sure that you're getting a good amount of fiber. We don't have to sit there and count all the time. I mean, if you're really low, then maybe we need to start tracking a little bit. But for the most part, vegetables, fruits, some
Yeah.
nuts, seeds, those are, then you're getting healthy fats in there too, brain health, like supportive
Oh
organs,
yeah.
like, so
Mhm.
nourishment does not need to be overcomplicated. And I think keeping it as simple, again, I said, we all know what to do. We stay away
Mm.
from the crap, in all honesty. We know what that is. We all know what that is. Stay as close to earth as possible. It's that simple.
Isn't it so funny that our we think we have to add and addition, 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 and when it's actually simplifying and dumbing it down and undoing,
It is the undoing.
releasing,
Hmm.
then that's when health can come about.
Hmm.
I
It
think that's
is. And
beautiful.
I mean, and
Also
I think knowledge is important. I mean, it
sure.
is, right? Go ahead, Aylin. Sorry.
No,
You
I just
also.
found out no, I'm thinking we've got 2 shirts to make now. We've got "Be Your Own Lab Rat" and "Eat as Close to Earth as Possible."
There you go. And those are I mean, and those will spark some conversation, you know?
Yeah, that's true, and then we'll have, like, our podcast QR code on the back. Or
Exactly.
something. But this conversation is also making me think about, for example, skincare, men versus women, right?
Mhm.
As
Mm,
women, we can get pulled into thinking we need to have, like, 12 steps in our skincare routine, and then our men
yes.
use the bar of soap they used on their body, and their skin is flawless. And
Mhm.
I've even seen that in my own journey. I went through a time where my skin was going haywire and I added all these things. And now I have like the most basic skincare routine, and this is the best my skin has been. So
Yeah.
it reminds me of like that aspect as well, or a way to just kind of tie it into what you're saying.
Well, again, it comes from the inside out too, So,
Yes.
Mhm.
I do as we age, we lose elasticity. And here's one thing I've really been trying to pull away from. So again, in the beginning, I talked a little bit about like not following trends. And listen, I'm not against if anybody wants to do Botox, if anybody wants to do fillers, that's your own being. If that makes you confident and happy, go all out. But for me, there's this sense of expression. When I see older women with actual expression in their face and fine lines, do I want these big, deep wrinkles? No. I don't want to look older than I actually am, but I also don't want to look way younger either.
Mm,
I want people to look at me with wisdom when I get to these ages where I look up to women that look like wismatic, right? Like just
yeah.
beautiful and they lived life. And
Yes.
Mm.
but but I do believe that beauty does come from the inside out. So what we put in does show on the outside. And I used to tell my boys this all the time when they struggled with acne. I mean, we all did, like teenage stuff. Um, but the crap you put on the inside is the crap that's going to show on the outside. And you can chat GPT that. Everyone knows that,
Yes.
right? So
So true.
Yeah.
what you'll notice, and this is where lab rat comes in very good. If you start dousing yourself with sugars, you're going to see that in your skin.
In your
You're gonna see
skin.
dehydration, you're gonna see more breakouts, you're gonna see more wrinkles. I mean, obviously dehydration causes the wrinkles, but you start to see that. And the minute that you start taking like processed sugars out, all of a sudden you're seeing a little bit more clarity. You're gonna see more, like I always say, like buoyance or vibrance in your skin, And I've found some products that I absolutely love. They're holistic. They're all organic. And you're right, Lauren. I don't have a 10-step routine because you're never going to see me do a 10-step routine because I like simple. you
Yeah.
know, I want now,
Yeah.
do I have some things that I really feel are working? Absolutely. There, some serums, but those are like 2 steps based on my wash, dry, and some serums that I like. And then an overnight cream to keep the
Mhm.
skin plump. But, you know, but again, it comes from the inside out. And just like you said, what comes from the inside or what you do on the inside really matters for the out. And all different perspectives, all different perspectives. Even think about it this
Absolutely.
way, when you do treat your body like crap, aren't you treating other people like crap?
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
So again,
It
yeah, I mean,
it
it's
seeps
not,
everywhere.
it seeps everywhere. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's really interesting too when you do start building that awareness. I
Mhm.
know for me in my own journey, a few years back when I found out I had all these food sensitivities and everything, and I had to cut all these things out. And it's amazing once you do that. I was like, holy crap. I was going to bed with a tummy ache every night, and I thought that was normal for me. Oh, these zits and things that I had on my face, just thought that was my skin. And
Mhm.
now these girls know almonds, for example, is something that doesn't agree with me. And if I do have them, I will actually break out specifically between my eyebrows. Like it's
See?
down
So
to
you
that
used
where,
yourself as an experiment. Like, that is getting to know your body. You
You're
know what
such
I
a
mean?
lab rat.
You're such a lab rat, Lauren. Lab rat Lauren, you
Lab
know?
rat.
I mean, but honestly, it's true. Like, we people need to start playing with this and seeing
yeah.
that, you know? Yeah.
Because I think that's the powerful part is when you do really see it,
Mhm.
when you do really feel those changes. Because I think many are resistant to change.
Mhm.
And, with our instant gratification society as well, when those changes don't just happen overnight, it
Mhm.
can make it really hard for people to say cut out these certain things. Like for me, I had to because I found out I was celiac and I couldn't have gluten
Mhm.
anymore,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes when there's not such like a if you eat this, you'll die kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, on a
Right.
long enough timeline, if you eat the bad things, you'll die, right? But
Right.
yeah, I think it makes it a little more challenging for people to
Absolutely. And
really
you're
commit. But
right.
when they,
You're right. 100%.
yeah,
Mhm.
but then when you feel that change, if you
Mhm.
see it or you feel it, like when I stopped having stomach aches, when I cut out all of the things I was sensitive to, I was like, "Man, I never wanna go back to this again. I didn't know I
Mhm.
could go to bed without a tummy ache."
Which brings me to ask, so Lauren had that transition. Did you have a specific time for you where you were more healthy than you were before?
I know this is gonna sound very, like, cliche in a sense, but I feel like in the last 5 years, I feel my best now at 50 than I did in my 40s.
That's
And
amazing.
and again, I'm not saying that because I'm doing all the right things. I'm not, we're never gonna be perfect. You can't. There's no reason to even try to be or say you're gonna be. But I I think it's because I'm accepting the idea and the knowing that this is who I am and it's my
Mm,
control. It's I
Mm.
get to decide what I do with my body. So one of the things, she had to quit gluten and for good reason. I quit alcohol almost 4 years ago, not because I had to, but because I knew how it was killing me inside. Like you
Mm.
start to build this knowledge and what alcohol actually is. And again, that's a different topic. Man, we can have some really good topics here.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
um but alcohol, like I'm sort of weird when it comes to stuff because I do read labels. I'm very cautious about what is going into my body. So if I take a supplement, I'm looking at the label. If it has things that I don't agree with, I don't take it. I won't use it. I don't eat at fast food. If I do, it's really very minimal and like a salad if I can get it. Um, but I made that change with alcohol. And when all of a sudden you take it out of your life for a certain amount of time, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I never have to wake up with a hangover again. I never have to feel that bad."
Right.
Sort of like Lauren, I don't have to wake up or go to bed with a tummy ache. So
Yeah.
when we take these things out that are sort of poisoning us, and again, individually, how alcohol reacted to me to somebody else may not,
It might
be
not
the
affect
same.
them. Yeah.
Right. So,
Right.
but it was starting to wear on me, my sleep, I was having panic attacks, anxiety,
Mm.
so it's like when you start to realize the things that are benefiting you and serving you and not, you're going to make those choices and then it almost becomes easier. And again, I love what you said, Lauren, about the instant gratification in this world where we have our hands at the to get our hands on anything that can help us. I mean, and again, to each their own, but like GLP-1s, they're being handed out on social media. You know what I mean? Do I think some people will benefit them? Absolutely. But again, it's individually and it should be watched by a doctor. These things, so
Mm.
but it's an instant because women, and I'm saying women because that's what we're speaking to, but we we want to feel good and we want it to come quick. Sometimes that noise out there and the overwhelm gets so paralyzing that we don't know what to do. So we go to the something that's going to help us get there quicker and not have
Mm.
to, learn about it
Right.
or, a- actually do. The crazy thing about it is when you take any of those shots like that, you still got to be eating right. So why wouldn't you do
Mm.
that in the first place? You know?
And
Yeah.
Hannah's our perfect person to talk on that. She's her current nurse coach job. She deals with GLP-1s a lot. Hannah, do you
Yeah.
want to discuss a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually do. I don't wanna share too many details because hashtag corporate life, but, um yeah, so I work with people on the daily who are taking GLP-1s, and if they're brand new to GLP-1s, I'm always asking that same question of like, "Okay, what is not working for you right now? Like, what have been
Mhm.
the biggest health challenges for you and why you're wanting to start a GLP-1?" Because I acknowledge that this is where you feel like is the best path forward for you at this point in life. And it's very much a co-created path, but I'm always challenging them. What's
Good.
your problem now? So that while the GLP-1 has it masked for a little while, we're going to be working actively against it. And I wish that pharmaceutical companies would market in this way that, hey, the GLP-1 is training wheels,
Mm.
basically. It's the
It's a
bridge to
Mm.
tool.
get you to the other side, but you have to be building your foundation
I
along the
love
way
that. You gave
because
me
if you
chills.
don't,
Mhm. You gave me chills.
oh,
It's so good, Hannah. It's so good that you do that.
but it's really the hardest conversations I have are when patients come in already on a GLP-1 and their doctor has framed it to them that this is going to be a lifelong drug for them. And I'm
Mhm.
like, "Are
Yeah.
you crazy? We don't even
Ugh.
know the long-term side effects of this drug, and it's a drug. You're
Mhm.
renting your health. You don't own your health."
Oh my
So,
gosh, so
Yeah.
good.
another
Ugh.
t-shirt.
Another t-shirt.
Don't
I
rent
Another
your
love
health,
that.
t-shirt.
own your
Mhm.
health.
Mhm.
3. We're on
So
3. How
good.
many are we gonna get out of this episode, guys?
Honestly, Hannah, it's so good and it's so good to hear coming from someone on the outside of that's in this world. And I used to work in the medical field I did for 17 years. I worked in a hospital for doctors, but it was not in the not it was in high risk OB. I did ultrasound. Um, but still then you're still working with doctors and you still see how they
Yeah.
prescribe things. And again,
Uh-huh.
I believe in Western medicine. I first go to the functional route. And then if we need it, Western medicine has saved my husband, hands
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
It
um,
serves its purpose.
it's right, but
Absolutely.
you gotta use things like we have to use things as a tool. These things are not, they're like GLP-1s are a tool. The scale that you step on is a tool. It's not something
Yeah.
that should be relied on,
A
you
lifelong
know?
crutch, right? Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And even thinking about not even the scale we step on, but the scale that people weigh food on. Because I
Uh-huh.
think, there's almost a balance there, right? Where people can get super, super reliant on it
Mhm.
versus not even considering what they're putting on their plate, right?
Right.
And
It
and
goes
that
both ways.
too,
Mhm.
right, being a factor where you're also looking at how much you're paying attention to that and
Right. But again, it's a
weighing it.
tool. So if you if you're struggling, like if I were coaching someone, and I don't do much coaching much anymore because the noise has gotten a little loud. And so I'm just sort of redirecting where I'm going in life, but I'm still part of this wellness atmosphere. It's part of me. It's who I am. But,
Yeah.
if I were gonna be coaching somebody and someone was really struggling, I used to do, like, a genetic test. It was a swab, and it would just give them some basic information that we can work off of, like, how does protein affect you? How does is cardio the best route for you, or is strength training the best route for you? We would come up with
Mm.
a plan, and then um, if we needed to, we would watch macros and maybe weigh some food for a while. And the reason being is because I had to do that because for some odd reason, I was stuck in this inflammation stage during
Mm.
perimenopause and I could not figure it out. So when people say I'm doing all the right things, but I'm 10 pounds heavier, that was me. And I couldn't figure
Okay.
it out. Two things that I changed, two things only, because I need to keep it simple. Remember, otherwise I don't
Right.
want it,
Right.
But one of them was calming my nervous system. So really starting to dive deep into journaling, into I do scripture in the morning. But that's me, but even if you just did some breath work, meditation, grounding your feet in the earth, getting out in sunlight, like these little easy things, calming the nervous system and doing that a little bit throughout the day. And then the other one was I was tracking my macros, not because I wanted to use it as a crutch. I used it as a tool, and what it showed me was I literally was eating way more of fats than I even thought because, you know, almonds are delicious and they're good for you, right? And then, but yet I'm eating a whole bag of them. And then,
Mm.
you know what I mean? I love cheese. You're not going to get me stopping. I'm not going to stop eating cheese. I love pizza. I'm from
All hail
Chicago,
the
You're not
queso.
you know? So I love cheese. I love it all. So I love pizza. So you're not going to keep me from eating pizza. That's like my thing. But um it did tell me some things. So I'm like, okay, let me do the calming the nervous system. Let me take a little step back and like really weigh out these fats, get my proteins up a little bit higher instead of the fats. And literally in 2 weeks, and it was not fat. I was not 10 pounds heavier in fat. I was 10 pounds heavier in inflammation. And
Mm.
within like 2 weeks, it was 8 pounds gone because of
Wow.
me
Awesome.
settling things. Because when your cortisol is up, everything goes array, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
and then you eat like crap too. So that didn't help
Mhm.
either. And then you're gaining water weight and you're not sleeping. So it was inflammation I was holding in my body, which is crazy that inflammation weighs like that, because that can mess
Oh,
with
yeah.
us
Cool.
as women. That number on the scale, that's why I say you use it as a tool. You don't use it for it to be like this telling all,
For
So
sure.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
really important. I'm glad you pointed that out because In my journey, I experienced something like that as well with cutting out the gluten and all of the food sensitivities. I literally changed nothing but cutting out the inflaming foods and lost 15 pounds
Yeah,
just cutting the
crazy.
foods out.
It's great.
So it's wild, like you said, how much inflammation can really weigh.
And
Yeah.
inflammation has a toll on our bodies in so many different ways. It does cause brain
Yes.
fog, it causes, weight gain, it causes your hormone disruption. Inflammation is really probably the source of a lot of our issues, and I don't think we talk about that enough. I mean, again,
Oh, no.
another topic, but, um, in all reality, I think a lot of times we need to reduce the inflammation in our body, and stop worrying about all the other things. Let's calm the nervous system. Why don't you go to sleep and get good 7, 8 hours of sleep? That's great. That'd be good for your nervous
Yeah.
system, you know? So, I know
Yeah,
that
I
can be
actually even heard about, like, this couple that was they are so health conscious, like yoga, athletic, eating well, but they were fighting all the time. And so their inflammation was not lowering. And it wasn't until a spiritual mentor had told them, you are emotionally going to hold on to that inflammation if you guys don't get your nervous systems right. So I really
Wow.
appreciate you bringing that up too.
and
Mhm.
I'll say this too, the stress of what you're eating is probably worse than what you're actually eating. So if you are
Mm.
having a bowl of ice cream and stressing out about it, that's
Yes.
worse for you than really just enjoying the bowl of ice cream. Enjoy the
Exactly.
bowl of ice cream. There's another
Yes.
t-shirt.
Yes.
Enjoyable ice cream. Keep it simple as
Yes!
well. I think we're up to
Keep it
5
simple.
T-shirts.
Oh my gosh, so many T-shirts, guys. The bowl I would love
There
to hear her say, "Just eat the bowl of ice cream" in a Bostonian accent, though. I feel like that would be perfection. Has she heard Paula,
I
Lauren?
don't think I haven't brought out Paula for
She
April
hasn't
yet.
brought out Paula for you. Oh
We
Well,
my
let
we
me be
have,
the first to introduce April. I'm Diane, and I smoke about 2 packs of cigarettes a day.
Oh my gosh.
my
Not
name is
really.
Paula. I'm the glue for these 2 girls.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I'm Marjorie. I always lose my pocketbook. Can never find my pocketbook.
Those were our little alter egos on the
That
side.
is funny. Cute.
We're imagining that
Very
accent
cute.
with the just eat just eat the bowl of ice cream.
Eat the bowl of ice cream. Seriously.
Yes,
Oh my
definitely.
goodness. We totally got
So
off such a tangent.
Well
it's
I
okay.
can bring us back there because I actually you guys had my wheels spinning with this and how it was so interesting to hear how calming your nervous system played a role. And one of the things that I hear people talk about the most, and when it comes to GLP-1s, is how it just magically takes away that food noise. And it's
Mhm,
like pulling teeth, getting people to really explain in a concrete way what food noise is to them, which tells me they're not connected with their body. If you
mhm,
can't tell me what it means to you, then we need to take the time to like go in and maybe do some inner like nervous system healing, bring some
mhm.
awareness to some of those thoughts. And so really just great advice for our listeners. So thank you for sharing all of that.
Yes, you are welcome.
Definitely. Now, for someone listening, maybe who's feeling overwhelmed, like we said, by all the information out there,
Mhm.
and with your keep it simple model, what are 2 to 3 simple habits that you would encourage somebody to do to get started, to not be paralyzed with everything out there?
Okay. So I'm gonna say for overall wellness, overall mindset health, like that kind of thing, I would say I'm stick to 3 pillars. My nourish pillar, movement, because movement is
Hmm.
big, and calm. So nourishment, keeping it simple, just getting as close to earth as possible. Yes, we need to eat protein. So if you're going to concentrate on anything, I'd say protein and fiber. And again, another topic one day, when you eat protein and fiber together, protein and fiber, and or even protein, fat, and a fiber, I usually say, you stabilize blood sugars. So my simple mottos that I talk a lot about are eat as close to Earth is possible, and every meal you eat a protein, fat, and a fiber. If you need to knock the fat out, then it's protein fiber at every meal. And that helps to just keep it simple, stabilize blood sugar. Movement, getting 30 minutes in a day. But what
Mm,
brings you joy?
yeah.
What movement brings you joy? Because again, movement is still a stress on the body. It's
Right.
still stressful on the body. So if you're going to go and you're going to pump out some kind of massive strength training workout and you hate it, what's it doing for you, you know?
There you go.
And I'm not
Right.
saying that yes, we as we age, we need to build muscle. Very important. Strength training is important. But we don't have to be all gung ho and be so rigid in it. Find a plan that works for you. And right now, in this whatever season you're in, if walking 5 days a week works for you, that's better than nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
movement is so good for the body, for the soul, for the mind,
Yeah.
joints, everything. So, movement, big key. And I'm gonna I guess I might have to do a fourth well, the fourth pillar will be calm. And so, calm is regulating your nervous system. And
Yeah.
with that, I would say keep it simple again. When you wake up in the morning, give yourself 10 minutes before the hustle and the bustle. I remember
Mm.
when I had young kids, I woke up and I went immediately into taking care of kid mode because I wanted to sleep as long as I could.
I don't know that life.
You know? But I mean, I remember those days. But also remember when my kids got a little older and they still needed me. I mean, you're still driving them around and this and that. I remember one of my mentors telling me that you should take 10 to 15 minutes, start with 10 to 15. Now I'm taking an hour every morning for myself.
Nice.
And I have my own little process that I love that I do. And if I don't do it, I really am messed up for the rest of the day, you know?
Mm.
So your morning, starting and regulating your nervous system from the very beginning is important. Whatever that might look like for you, some journaling, some prayers, some meditation, breath work, taking a mild walk, getting on a lymphatic plate, whatever it looks like for you, do that. Because again, it needs to be something you'll stick to. So you want to be able to want to do it and enjoy it, you know? Um,
Mhm.
and then I would even throw some of those in the middle of your day because we're always so captured by social media, work, emails, being on screen, this and that. Put the phones down for 10, 15 minutes in the middle of your day. Go put barefoot in the grass, whatever. But again, whatever works for you. Maybe take a 10-minute walk around the neighborhood. Just get your awareness back into here rather than here, you know? So
Mm.
bringing it back
Yes.
in. And then I always close the evening and believe me, this is probably one of the hardest things because I like to create content. I like to answer people when they message me. But getting off your phones 2 hours before bed is like life-changing.
Mm.
And getting a book out is life-changing. And it's down regulating before you actually go to bed so that your body can go into that rest mode before it actually has to sleep, you know? And when you get to the age where perimenopause symptoms hit, like your sleep gets disrupted, I mean, I'm in that stage and this is one of the hardest ones that I'm having a hard time figuring out because I am trying the things that, again, knowledge is still key and I'm looking
Sure.
at the things that can help me. So, of course, doing the phone, reading, taking a hot Epsom salt bath if I need to. Um, but magnesium at night, I take like a
Mhm.
something to ease my cortisol because my cortisol is high. But like getting yourself to down regulate so that you can sleep better because we all know that when your sleep is off, you are off. And so I would keep it to those 3 pillars just to start and even maybe starting with just one pillar, one of those.
Mm.
Mm.
Where do you struggle with what would be easiest? Let's start with that. What would be the easiest for you to start with? Would it be food? Would it be just turning your phone off? Would it be taking a walk every day? You know, um, so that's how I would keep it just simple. So do what you can do something that you know you'll stick to, and that way you can create a lifestyle out of it. Because if you try something that again, you're like, I don't like this, you're not going to stick to it. What's
Yeah.
the point?
Oh, and I hope the listeners that our listeners in this episode today do hear the enjoyment piece, especially with movement. I think a
Mhm,
lot of people don't like to feel the workout and,
mhm,
or go to the gym, for example. And we've talked in different ways about how there's adversity and then there's trauma. So you
mhm,
saying we don't need that rigid or that intensity. We need that enjoyment,
mhm,
including food.
mhm.
Yeah, I really want our listeners to hear that. But
Yeah.
you bringing up magnesium, that actually helped my daughter. I found
Mhm,
a child oral form
mhm,
where I could give her some in the night, and she was sleeping. She's been sleeping so much better ever
mhm,
since I started that. But it made me want to go into another gut related topic that I was actually surprised by and wanted to inquire about cleanses because there's a lot of stuff on parasite cleanses out
mhm.
there. And that was one of the things that I had recently did with my daughter was a parasite cleanse on her, and I was so amazed with the things that did improve, but the one that I wasn't expecting, or maybe I should have, but it was still surprising, was her mood. She was in
Mhm,
such a good mood after doing the parasite cleanse. But yeah,
mhm.
if you wanted to speak on cleansing every once in a while or any
So
experience in that.
I go back and forth on cleanses. There's times where I feel like it can be very beneficial. And again, I think sometimes it can be too stressful on a body. I think it depends on the person again. Um, all the hype around cleanses all the time. Now, I'll be honest, I
Yeah,
used to do a
there's
cleanse.
a
I
lot.
used to actually host cleanses, like do coaching groups,
Oh, okay.
3 a year. Not everybody had to do all 3. It was like I just held them 3 a year and sort of guided people through. It was a, like, endocrine system and gut cleanse, and I
Oh,
would say that most people felt really good after it, but is it a necessity? I don't know. I mean, there's so much information out there again that
there's a
I
lot. Yeah.
almost feel like you have to listen to what your needs are, and if you feel like that might be something you wanna try, then I don't think it's gonna hurt you. It's not gonna be a bad thing to do. You got
Lab
people
rat.
that are like, "Oh, yeah, you need" what'd you say?
Lab
Lab
rat.
rat.
Exactly, but, like, again, like, don't let somebody say, "No, you shouldn't be doing a cleanses. You have to be doing a cleanse." If
Mhm,
you feel like
mhm.
if you hear that a parasite cleanse could be something that can benefit you and you wanna give it a shot, I say go for it. I don't think there's any right or wrong in any of that doing. I
Nice.
mean, I obviously would look and make sure, like, any contradictions, like,
Sure.
if you had anything that could happen during that cleanse, like, you wouldn't wanna do it. There's some cleanses that have, like, certain herbals, like, the ones that I did were all herbal stimulant, like, herbal based. It wasn't, like, synthetic based. So, some of the herbs could be affect, like, heart, like, if you had a heart issue. So, I wouldn't want them to do that. You know what I mean? I
Or
would just
other
say,
medications,
or other,
right?
yeah,
If a person
exactly. So
is
you wanna be smart about
yeah.
that. Don't just go and jump into something that's a trend again,
I
and
saw it on
I
TikTok. Let's
saw it
give
on
it a go,
TikTok, I'm
right?
gonna do it? And again, I think I'm guilty. I mean, back in the day, I used to do that too because, again, we wanna feel good. We all
Yeah,
want to feel good. We wanna age well. We want longevity for our life, so we're looking at the next thing that we can do, but
yeah,
I really do think it comes from inward. I can't say what's right or wrong on cleanses. I mean, everyone's gonna have their own opinion on it,
yeah,
and I'm not gonna go against it either way, really, because I do think that they can be beneficial, but I also do think that they could be detrimental if you're not doing them for the right reason. I mean, if you got
definitely.
someone with an eating disorder doing cleanses,
Right.
that's not
Yeah.
something you're gonna wanna promote.
It would be really
Right.
Exactly. Perfect
helpful
example.
if our medical system had more like published research available to the public around like here are some guidelines on when it's appropriate or reasonable to do a parasite cleanse. But like
Mhm.
I just feel
Right.
like everyone is subject to so much of that noise that you referred to in the beginning when you are looking at doing a parasite cleanse. So it's like,
Mhm.
how do I make a choice?
And it
Yeah.
definitely feels like a good moral of so many of the stories and conversations we've talked about today is listening to your intuition,
Mhm.
tapping
Yeah.
into what you need for you specifically, because
Mhm.
all 4 of us on this conversation probably need something different. And
Right.
Absolutely.
that's okay, right? Because we're all in different places and all have different goals and everything, but choosing what's best for you
Right. I
with
think the only thing
whatever it
that we
is.
all really need is joy, happiness, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
We all need that. And so do what's gonna bring you joy and happiness, you know? That's how I see
T-shirt.
it. T-shirt.
Another
T-shirt.
shirt.
But today has been such a beautiful conversation with
Yes.
just so many little gems that I think people are gonna really connect with and take with them. Before we wrap up, we would like to ask you one final question. If you could give our besties listening one piece of advice, what would it be?
Hmm. It's a good one, Lauren. I'm gonna say so let me ask you, I know this is sort of going back. In what in health, in wellness, in, like, where are you asking me? Because in all honesty, I I think we need to live life to our best,
Mm.
right, ability, and we are all created beautifully, and I do think that we need to make the best choices for a good, healthy, sustainable life, joyful life. And I think that the biggest thing is just to listen to your own heart. Listen to
Mm.
what your body is telling you. And I know not it's not an easy thing to do because we again, outside noise. We rely on a lot of what other people tell us to do. But we know deep inside what we want for ourselves, and then we need to make those changes. You can't change if you don't change. Right? You can't
Mm.
change if you don't make a change. So if you wanna get healthier and happier, you're gonna have to make some changes, you know?
So
And that
many
goes for
t-shirts.
anybody. So
I I know.
you know? But it's true. If you want longevity for life, and I know I speak a little bit on the older end, I don't remember saying this stuff when I was younger because my
Mhm.
60s and 70s weren't near, but I would love for anyone at 30, start taking care of you now. Start taking care of your mind, your body, your soul now. I remember, and I'll say this quick little story. I remember watching my aunt. I lived with my aunt after college for a very little time. She was so beautiful, and she'd be in the bathroom before we were going to bed, and she'd be doing her little facial routine just so gently and nourishing. And I remember looking at her like, am I ever going to get to that place? Am I ever going to do that? And here I am trying to do all the things that make me feel good, feel beautiful, bring me joy, bring me just vibrancy for life. And so I think you just need to make the choices that are going to bring you joy for a sustainable and loving and just beautiful future.
Mm,
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that. That was so beautiful.
I mean, I had a
And
lot to
I
say in that.
No, it was great, and I know that our listeners will take so much from this. And if someone is listening and really resonating with you, where can they connect with you?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram at aprilmarie.wellness. And, I have a Facebook page and a Facebook group, but it's not really active right now. So once that becomes active again, I'll be posting that on my social media. So everything that I do, it all is really on Instagram at this point.
Perfect. Well, we'll make sure to link everything in the description. And
Thank
as we
you.
close, we want to give a big thank you to April for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you
You
so
guys don't
much.
even
Thank
understand. It
you.
was such an honor. I'm so blessed to have
Yes.
been part of this conversation. Thank you so much for asking me.
Oh, of
And you look
course.
amazing at 50, by the
Oh,
way.
thank
Yes.
Honestly.
thank you. You guys are sweet.
Yes, we were so grateful you're here. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone listening for showing up and supporting this space.
Mhm.
You make this possible. If this episode spoke to you, follow the podcast, leave a comment, share it with a bestie, And if you came here from April's page, comment April down below so we can see her community here too. And
Oh.
if today's conversation got you thinking about how you want to start supporting your body in a more intentional, aligned way, we actually created something for you. Our Holistic Goals workbook is designed to help you set goals that support your mind, body, spirit, and emotions as a whole. If you want access to that, comment goals down below and we'll send you the link. As mentioned, we'll also have April's contact info and links in the description so you can connect with her directly. If you want to connect with us individually, all the links are in the description. And for more of our bestie magic, follow us on our socials at The Bestie Perspective. As always, keep growing, keep glowing, and always trust in your own bestie perspective.